So we could be live right now. Welcome, guys, to another episode of Success Starts with a Plan. Um, my name is David Pinto. They also call me TipsWithDav. I have Renee Sullivan here, who's going to take the lead in this webinar because I'm a bit sick today. Success. I think I have. I think I have the.
My name is David Pinto. They also call me. I don't know if it's you or me.
It's on my side because I need to control the chat just to see if anybody's on. So I had that open and on loud, but it's now okay. Anyway, guys, sorry about that. Yeah, as I was saying, I will definitely speak from time to time during this webinar today, but Renee is going to take the lead, and let's go ahead. We have a very interesting topic for you guys today. We briefly spoke about it last time, but I'll let Renee start if she wants to get on with the initial product or just directly dive into the topic. Anything is fine.
I'm going to just dive right into our topic, which is email marketing and the schedule for email marketing. And the reason why this is so important is because you are communicating with, this is all about building your list and developing that know, like, and trust with those people who are on your list. And you have to see them as people. Yes, they're subscribers to your emails, but they're actual people with emotions and lives and things going on. So the reason why you want to make sure that you are following up with them in emails and is because you've got to help them to relate to you. So one of the things, especially for newer marketers or marketers who haven't been doing this for a while, successfully, one thing, the reason why we do this is to help you focus. If you have a set plan as far as what you're going to say each day, and it doesn't even have to be daily that you send out emails, and you'll see it in a minute when I actually share my screen. If you have some kind of plan of what you're going to talk about on the days that you do communicate with your people, then it's a lot easier for you to actually communicate with those people who are on your list. So let me give you an example. What I'm going to do is actually share my screen and show you one of the emails that I have in my, and I might even start with showing you that I actually have, a set number of emails that go out automatic. They automatically start as soon as someone subscribes to my list. So let me do that. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm actually going to go here, and I'll start with here. And just so you know, I'm using Aweber, but it really doesn't matter what platform you decide to use. David, just let me know, can you see my screen? I'm assuming he can.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. There's a little bit of a delay. So I have a list, and I call it my long-term wealth plan. And again, you call it whatever your plan is. David, I know you have your pro plan, but I have, let's see, 15 emails in here. Okay. So, and I have one that's set to go out immediately. And then I just have them every day from then. So it's 15. So it goes out like 15 days. Okay. But what I do explain in my emails, and in each email, I introduce people to myself. So the first one I'm talking about in my plan, I talk about how I paid off my car and my medical bills, and and introducing myself. And then I talk about, a lot of times we talk about how our funded proposal is the fearless mama. So in the next email, I talk about how people are getting their first sale. And, and a lot of these emails I've actually taken from the system that we use in Fearless Mama. And some of them I've used from other marketers that I see are successful. And you can do the same exact thing. Okay, so if this is something new to you, just understand, if you don't know what to say in emails, connect with the person that is your sponsor, the person that is talking to you about this, and see what their email series is and see if it's something that you want to use. But what I want to draw your attention to is, and the reason why I have this particular email and I don't have it first, is to kind of describe to you, and I'm just going to click on this one, just follow the email schedule for success. Okay. What it does, it is actually in each of the emails that I particularly have, and David, you could jump in at any time. I'm sure you do the same thing, but I educate people as I'm sending out my emails. I educate people, and I'm getting them to understand who I am as a person and that I have a life. But this email actually came from another plan that I adapted from. But what this does is it explains how we have the email schedule. So I'm just going to say, you've been getting emails about this. We talk about our plan, the traffic, and talking about the email schedule. So, and in here, if people get 2 emails a day, I'm explaining why. One is because the autoresponder sends out the introductory email, talks about, the whole series that I just went over, how I had the 15 emails and they go 1 a day. But it also explains how, if they get 2 in a day, it's because I've sent out a special broadcast. So here I'm educating on, depending when they actually got on the list, what day of the week, and it's going to determine what emails they get. You might have gotten 1 and then another one. So it's all part of the system that we have in place. So to make it simpler, here's a little guideline on how you can target your emails and what topics you might talk about. Now, again, you don't have to use what I have. You can have your own system, but this is just to kind of get you started. So basically, on Sundays, I talk about self-development or self-improvement, okay? Again, if you don't talk about that, you would make your Sunday something else. You could talk about maybe stacking on Sunday, okay? If you stack assets, okay? On Tuesday, it's teaching or training, okay? So if you have a training video, like the other day I sent out a video about a training that I did for a client of mine, okay? Those are just a few ideas. If you're doing a training in a series, you could talk about something you might have learned from a training that you particularly got from. You don't have to necessarily have made the video or given the or produced the information yourself. It could be someone else's information that you're just relaying to your list. Okay, so don't ever feel like you have to always do this on your own, because you don't have to. So Thursdays is traffic. I always talk about traffic on Thursdays, and I talk about traffic many other days of the week, but the biggest focus on Thursdays is I'm talking about traffic. And I might give out resources that I use for traffic, or I talk about, the traffic plan, the perpetual traffic plan. Then on Fridays is the Fast Money Friday. That would be, our funded proposal, the Fearless Mama, that we talk about. And then I always have something where they can, get to the Facebook group, they can reach out. But this is just a good way to help you organize yourself. Like, for example, today, I believe Wednesdays is not on the list. I used to do a win on Wednesdays, and you can do that. If Wednesday's a good day for you, you could. But I talked about, how I, stops and starts, and how things are, what helped me to win. So I wanted to actually share that. I'm going to stop sharing. Hopefully I'm back. I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to actually share that with you so that you have an idea of the plan that I in particular use, and how you can actually carry that over to people that you're working with. So, and with something like Aweber, you can actually have your people copy that same series, and they just put in their information instead. So we try to make it as duplicatable as possible, and we try to, in our emails, not only personalize them so they get to know who you are, that you're someone that's helping them and solving a problem for them, but also giving them a plan of scheduled emails.
I'm going to play devil's advocate right now.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Because I know that people, or rather myself included, had questions about email marketing right in the beginning. You see, if I remember correctly, when I got started, I knew that I needed to connect with people and get actual sales and results by connecting with these people. But I never ever thought about email marketing, because I said, that's too much of a hassle. I have to create my own content. I have to write every single day. I'm bothering people in their inbox. I know when I receive promotional emails, I don't like it. So the main thing is there in my opinion, I would ask a very specific question. Does it take much of your time, firstly? And secondly, can you fit it into the daily activities that you're doing? So in terms of having this plan in place, is it part of the plan?
Okay, so to answer your question, it all depends on you. Okay, when I first started, I basically copied emails from other people that I was on lists for. Okay, it didn't take me that much time in the very beginning because I wasn't writing it myself. I was literally taking that information, putting my links in. So maybe it took me 15 minutes. I think it was around 15 minutes to actually copy and paste and change my links. Okay. And nobody really told me to do this, but it's just something I just kind of figured out. Okay. When I decided, okay, I need to start doing this for myself, I'm going to be 100% transparent. It would take me several hours when I first started to write an email because I was new to it. But I'm just going to say it may not take you that long, but it took me that long because I was new to it and I really wanted to perfect that skill. And I studied on, copywriting, and I, really looked on other people's emails and tried to see what I could take from theirs and put into mine and integrate any books that I had on copywriting. So I'm going to admit it took me a couple hours to do an email. But as I got better at it doesn't take me that long. Now, if I'm going to write an email, I might take bits and pieces from other emails or a past email. Maybe it takes me 20 minutes tops to write an email. Okay. I don't think that's a lot of time because that's 20 minutes where you're communicating with your people. As far as your answer, your question about, is it worth it? To me, absolutely. Okay. Yesterday, I put out an email about, texting me back. And I actually had people texting me back. That's engagement. That's actually talking with people. So depending on what you are going to write in those emails, if you're getting an engagement and people are showing interest, whether or not they join you right then and there, to me, it's worth it. So is 20 minutes of my time writing that email yesterday worth it? Absolutely. Okay.
Yes, it
Is
builds
2 hours when I first started worth it? Yes, go
yeah,
ahead.
it builds more of a know like trust in that sense that you actually get to know the person because you're asking somebody instead of just pitching to them, which is what most people will think that they need to do, because why you need to automate it. And this is the way I thought. Oh no, I need to automate it. So I'll have a email coming up and that's it. I don't need to think about it anymore. I don't need to contact the person anymore. I don't really care if they reply to me. Maybe I will not respond. There were all these kind of doubts in my head when I was getting started. But I must say that it does make it does take time, but it's a skill that I think everybody should learn, just like any other skill set that you have. It is a very good whether you're doing email marketing or not, and I'll tell you why specifically. And this is from experience, guys. Like Renee said, she started off with an autoresponder. She copy pasted emails and stuff like that. I did the different route. I wanted to save my money. I did not want. I'm being very honest about it. I wanted to.
That's what we're here for.
I had this plan in place. I was following the right people. I knew that the plan needed to be in place, but I did not want to spend any extra money for an autoresponder or something that automates my business. So what I did was I said I will use Gmail. The problem with that is that every time I got a lead, I needed to reply to that lead. Now, when I say I can, when I'm talking about this, I mean just simply having like a free Wix or Weebly or whatever kind of website that you have, because people go that route. And honestly, I still have that website, but it's just for informational purposes. I don't use it for marketing. I've taken it out from everything that I'm doing. But I do have that website there just in case somebody still finds me that way. But I don't follow up on any leads. So I did. I knew I needed autoresponders, so I looked for autoresponders and I found something called Mailchimp. So I said, okay, fine, I'm going to use Mailchimp. But the free version of Mailchimp just collects the leads. It doesn't email them. You cannot broadcast. So that meant that I had the leads and then I had to email them. Now, how do I email them? I use Gmail. Using Gmail means I needed to create templates for myself. So I was any which ways writing templates for myself to go every single time I got a lead and every single day and sending out an email to these people every single day through Gmail. And that got tiring, guys. That got even worse than having to, as Renee says, think about it once, spend an hour if you have to in the beginning, writing that email, and then it's in your follow-up series. What she showed you was automatic emails that are sent. Okay, so the difference is I realized that I was wasting more time, and if you think of time in terms of money, then I'm wasting even more time and money on that specific task, right? So the emails that I needed to send out, or the email marketing that I needed to do, was a skill I said I have to learn. I have to learn, I have to be patient, I have to struggle, I have to fail, I have to, whatever kind of emotions that I go through is a roller coaster, because it is sometimes a roller coaster. I have to go through it. And don't get me wrong, after 2 years and doing it, I still came across people who asked me, how can I avoid it? So you will always have a certain amount of people who want to avoid this thing, okay? Who want to avoid email marketing, who want to avoid list building, and that's going to happen come what may. So the easy way out is giving the same, as Renee said, she can share with you, I can share with you my follow-up series, right? And that's good in a way, but I always connect with the people who want that and say, hey guys, change it for yourself. Let it be more personal, because of the fact that, and this is just statistics. I'm speaking on facts, okay? I'm not even speaking in terms of experience, I'm speaking on facts. If I have the same exact follow-up series as Renee, what happens is that Aweber doesn't take me as seriously because it affects my open rates, it affects my click rates, it affects everything. So after some time, if the same amount of if 100 people have the same emails, it's not going to have the same impact. Okay, so when you change it up, even just a few words and a few things, it makes it yours. Okay, so that's what you can do in order to avoid anything else, and that's a little bit, let's say, a little bit more advanced, but at the same time, I need to put it out there because it's learning a skill. And added to which, this is what I personally did. There's so much of free content, including the one that we are showing you right now, this webinar itself. You can use these to learn how to write these emails. Okay, you can opt into people's lists, something that I did, and I know that Renee has done. We've opted into other people's lists and learned from them. And we've learned from each other as well. We've spoken about different ideas. Oh, this email is good. Can I take this or can I do that? And we exchange information because we really see that it made us open it. And if it makes us open it, that means it will make somebody open it as well, right? So that's the whole idea of, and I am personally always open to feedback in terms of my emails. So what I did was I went through YouTube, looking for different people. I went to my marketing system, which had email follow-up training. That's the first place I went. I saw the person who was teaching there, and I found other free content of him. And I can even say his name, guys. You can find a lot of content from Igor Kafitz on literally the basics. Okay, how to tell a story, how to write it. Well, he's not selling the course. Obviously, he has his own things on the background, but I'm not telling you to even go that far. The resources are available for you. So if you spend 5 to 10 to an hour a day learning about this in the beginning, it just shortens your time. And now I literally spend like Renee said, 20 to 25 minutes on an email. And I even sometimes spend an hour or 2 hours, write 4 to 5 emails and schedule them for the whole week. So it just shortens my time frame. So the email schedule that we have in place, you can adapt it according to how busy you are, what elements you have of the plan in your place. So if you talk about the funded proposal, we're talking about getting you into a positive cash flow, getting you into having the right skill sets, including the Fearless Mama. They teach you guys this skill. We have there's a mastermind that's specifically on Aweber and how to write an email, how to send out stuff and stuff like that. So the content is there, right? The content is there. It's just about putting that into practice. And the more you do it, the easier it is. And at the same time, depending on what elements you have of the plan, you can make your day according to that. Okay. Now, there's in my perspective, if I ask the same questions that I asked Renee to myself, I say, is it worth it? Yes, 100% yes. Specifically because I'm getting to know people. I have somebody reply, and this is an example for today, asking me for some referral link of mine, which has nothing to do with the email that I sent him. But he got the email that day, and he remembered the email from the other day, so he asked me about it today. But if I hadn't sent that email today, I would not have got the request in the first place. So you might think that you're sending too many emails, but I'm honestly in enough of successful email marketers lists or people's, forget about email marketers, ads that you see, newsletters that you see, successful people who are sending emails on a daily basis.
Yep. A couple times a day. And it's funny how you mentioned that, someone's asking you for a link from something you hadn't talked about that day. That happens very often, and not just with myself or you or you. It happens with any marketer who's consistent. I'll have people either reach out to me through an email, or if we're connected on social media, they'll say, oh yeah, remember you talked about this a few weeks ago, and they'll literally say, oh, what was that link? And and instead of me saying, oh, go back to that email, say, oh yeah, here's the link that you were looking for. But it just proves that people are actually reading. They might not be responding to you right then and there, but they are reading it. And the other thing is, like, don't ever feel like you have to send out emails at a certain time. And I know some marketers say that, maybe certain days are better or certain times are better. Here's the thing, and again, this is just my own experience. I'm only speaking for myself. To me, what matters more is being consistent in writing an email. As far as what time it is, what day of the week it is, it doesn't matter, because your people who are connected with you on that list are going to reach out to you, or they're going to read that email and click on whatever button or link you have when they're ready. Okay. And it might be at 2:00 in the morning their time. And you know what I mean? So don't get, and this is one of the biggest questions I get for new people, like, okay, what days should I actually send it to? We're giving you an outline of what days, but if you want to do, an email on a Saturday and that's not listed, go for it. You know what I mean? Just be consistent about it, as consistent as you can about it, because when that person's ready, they're going to reach out to you when they're ready. And it could be on a Saturday, it could be on a Monday,
Yeah.
So don't get so hung up on that. Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, to the extent that I usually send at a specific time. The only reason why I send at a specific time is because I like my day to go by, and my specific time is almost midnight where I am. So I'm not going to be awake, so I schedule it at that time, knowing that it's just going to go out and I don't have to think about it.
Yep.
Okay, so for me it's midnight my time, but in the people who I'm majority, let's say, have on my list, are going to see it at a decent hour, and that's the only concern for me. I just send it out at that time because it's easier for me. But at the same time, like Renee said, it doesn't really matter when. I personally literally send 7 days a week emails. Some days, some weeks I might send 5 instead of 7, but that's okay because I'm sending every single day. So even if I do take a break for a day and not send that day, and then I do send on Monday, they know that they're going to receive it. So that it's completely fine if I take a day off now and then. But
Yep.
usually I don't like to take a day off. I set 7 days a week, send out the emails no matter what. Maybe the only thing that I'm testing is my subjects. Okay, the actual title of the email. Those are the things that I'm testing most of the time, not really the content, because
Yep.
I'm sharing my heart in the content. I'm
Yep.
sharing things that I want to share, and I'm being as creative as let's say entertaining as I
Mhm.
can as well, because it is a form of entertainment for people to read my emails. and
Mhm.
and that's fine. And so the only thing that I'm worried about is if they actually open the email or not. And that takes a little bit of time. You don't need to worry about that in the beginning. I don't worry about that even now. It's just that I'm testing things out and saying, oh, this works, this doesn't work. Maybe I'll change it, maybe I won't, and stuff like that. So, sorry, you do take the element of, and the only reason that we're talking about this specifically is last time, you remember, we spoke about if you don't have a plan, these are the things that can happen. So this is why we need to have a plan. Added to which, when you have an email schedule like this, what I follow, I know Renee might follow this as well, and other marketers who do follow our plan, the way we do things, I base it on the content that I want today. So if I wake up this morning and I know that it's as Renee said, on a Friday, Fast Money Friday, I'm gonna make I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna make a video because I want to make a video on Fast Money Friday. I'm gonna send that video out to my list, and I'm gonna send them a link to whatever. So I'm sending an email out on the Friday. I don't have to think because I have sent whatever I'm writing in that email, I'm going to say in the video as well. And then I'm going to send it to my list. If I'm saying something different in the video, I'm going to tell them in the email, check out my video and see what I'm saying there. And it just merges all together. Okay. And we do this week in and week out. And it's all a numbers game in this sense. The more you do it, the more you get people to open, the more you see, and the more results you're going to get. So I personally have a goal. I don't know whether Renee has a goal in terms of getting how many people on. We are all list builders at the end of the day. But I don't know whether Renee, you have a goal in terms of how many people you need on your list in terms before you start to get results. I know that I tell this to new people joining. If you have 100 people, don't expect 50 people to join you. That's just very, very far, far out there. Because if you automatically think of yourself, okay, in terms of sending an email, imagine you have a store in the middle of a square or middle of any place, Times Square. Let's take Times Square as an example. You have a store and you have people passing by. Every person that passes by is not going to either care about the theme that you have in your store that day, and not care about the products that you have in that day. From that 100 people that go by, maybe you'll get two people who are actually interested, but you're still doing it, right? It's still worth it for you because you see people coming in. So when you see people coming in, you see that, oh, that's attracting, and that's what you need to focus on. The final the element is when you get start off, I would say get a few hundreds or even thousands of people in your list before you actually try to think of, I'm going to get results with anything, or this email schedule is not working for me. If you don't have the right enough of numbers, then don't judge your emails badly. I would say just be, as Renee said, consistent. Have that plan in place, have that schedule in place, and email it out every single day,
Yep.
or as your plan is. If it's 4 days a week, it's fine. And you can keep changing it. I mean, I change mine and say, okay, it's not going to be 7 days a week, it's going to be 5 days a week because this is how I want to do it. And I evaluate that every couple of months. But you don't need to do it, and that's the thing. Until you have the right numbers, the consistency in terms of sending your email and being successful in your plan, is getting those opens and getting those clicks and actually seeing people who are interested.
Yep.
Not everybody's going to buy. That's
Yep.
okay.
Absolutely. And to add to what you said about, how many do you shoot for your goal? Okay. So a first goal, if you're brand spanking new and just starting out, make your first goal like 50 people on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Then make your next goal 100, then 1,000, then 5,000. What I've heard, and I haven't even reached this, I've been really close before, and then I purged my list of people who didn't open, but is that 10,000 people on your list is a magic number, because at 10,000, you're more likely to get signups every day from something you talked about that day, or something you talked about a year ago, or something you talked about 6 months ago, or whenever. And here, I'm going to backtrack a little bit with those numbers. A magical thing happened when I reached my first 1,000 subscribers. I actually had more people subscribing every single day when I reached 1,000. It was like a magic number. When I reached 5,000, I had even more, and I had, a couple people a week actually joining me in something, whether it was something free or something, that was something else. When the highest I got in a list was about 8,000 people. When I reached about 8,000 people, I had more people during the week joining me in something. Okay. So there is some truth in that. And again, everybody's numbers are going to be different. That's why it's good to look at your numbers. You got to know the score. You got to know what your specific numbers are. And again, I'm speaking from my own experience. The closer I was to that 10,000, the more signups I got in a week. The other thing that I noticed, and again, I know it's not necessarily our topic for today, was that if I was also doing a YouTube video a day or doing a blog a day, that added to how much quicker I actually got to sign up. Okay. It was the combination of adding, okay, so here's my training video that I did. So not only did they open the email and read the content, but they also went to, like David said, they went to the video that was training them on something, or the blog post that you wrote that you did, or if you were talking about something else other than a training, you still had a video include. Like the other day I was talking about progress. I actually did a Facebook Live and included that into my email, and I had more people, number one, watching my Facebook Live, but more people actually sending me friend requests in Facebook because I put that in there. So you don't really know what people are going to respond to. So the key is actually just being consistent and putting content out there. And if you add your own personal touch into those emails, those numbers are going to increase, and it's more likelihood that people are going to say, hey, this person's actually providing some value. I really need to connect with them, whether they join you or not, but at least they're going to reach out to you. Like I had yesterday a lady who I looked it up. She has been on my list since May of 2018. Never spoke to me ever. But the email I sent yesterday was to text me. And she texted me, and she's never spoken to me for, like, one was May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 8 months. She's been on my list 8 months, and she finally reached out to me. So you just don't know when someone's ready or what you're going to say in an email that prompts them to contact you and, make that human touch. So the key is just doing it. Just start. If you have 2 people on your list, great. If you have 200, great. You treat that list as you have thousands or hundreds of thousands of people on your list. It doesn't matter, as long as you're communicating with those people. It's only going to increase and do better, and it's only going to make you a better marketer in the long run.
It's like how in the Fearless Mom we say, take those fearless moves. You start getting your first few leads. You start getting your first few opens, and that's how. And it to an extent it becomes a bit fun after that, because you are stressing about it in the beginning, but then it becomes fun. But if I have to break it down, guys, we've spoken. This is the the third episode that we're doing. Okay, and every single time we speak about the plan, right? We speak about having the product there, having the marketing system there, and having the traffic there, and having the support there. If you just include those four things in your emails, four emails are done. You don't even have to think about it. You have a product, you have your marketing system, you have your traffic, and you have your support, and you just pile them in together. 4 days in a week, that's it. You can easily plan it and get it done. Okay, and that's how simple we want to break this down. We don't want to complicate it for you. If Renee, you don't mind me sharing my screen at
Go
this
ahead.
point,
Go
I
for
would
it.
love to maybe show the guys a little bit of how my open rates are in terms of the emails and what I keep doing. Okay, this is something that you can add to in the beginning, guys. If you don't have a list, so you don't have an automation in place, then you can start to do this, which is what I personally did in the beginning. And then I will just share my screen actually. Let's share entire screen. And great. So if I go to my follow-up series right here, now this is something that is my funnel. Okay, so it has all the elements of the plan that I'm talking about, which we are talking about. This success starts with the plan. Okay, and I do have I've changed this headline many times. Okay, I've seen what open rates are better for me. I've checked things out, but I made this. I got this one email, and I literally want to show you guys this first email to show you how simple it is. Okay, because who wouldn't open? I saw what you did. Like they just they just sign up for my list, and they say, I saw what you did. So it was really out of curiosity. I said, I'm watching you, sort of a little bit creepy, but at the same time doesn't matter. And the only links that are there here, as you can see, is that I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about whatever it is that we have. I give them a direct link to my Facebook. If they click on this, they go directly to my Messenger. And I'm telling them that they've already done more than 95% of what people would actually do. And if they stick, and the 5%, and I mention it very clearly that the only 5% of these people who are reading this email will actually do something about it. And they get to know next 14 days they're going to get emails from me. Then I have a little bit of what I have, and then I have a gift, the gift for you, which basically takes them back to the same page that they've already seen. So I'm giving them opportunities to reply to me, to get to me, and to talk to me. There's nothing about pitching it over here. It's about connecting. That's all. My first email is only about connecting. Okay? So that's one thing that I wanted to mention very clearly. Then there it goes, and you can see this is what I want to focus on. A lot of people get pushed down or feel bad that the fact that they get an awesome open rate in the beginning. So they get a high open rate in the beginning, and then it suddenly goes down. And I end up the last email with 12%. And that's pretty good actually. To have by the last 20-second email that they get to have 12%. But I told them 14. So actually I wrote 14, and then each time I was sending out a broadcast, I said, hey, this one was good enough to put it into up into a follow-up series. So I added it here. And now I have 22, and I don't want to add any more because I think it's enough for me personally.
Yep.
But this is how I added to what I had. So if you have you write 2 emails and you're fine with 2 emails, and then you want to send broadcasts, that's okay. Okay, that's completely fine with you doing that. But I stopped sharing my screen, so yeah, it's completely fine.
I should share my screen and show you my open rates because they're very similar to yours. Just to show that. Hold on, let me share my screen. Go back to Aweber. Yours might be slightly even better than me. This first one is skewed because that's me. I'm the only person that got so you can see this, I'm assuming. So like the first one is 30%, 29%, then drops down, goes to here, so it's about even, in a way. You know, it's going to drop a little bit, and the last one is like 9.7%. But I have some that are higher than others, so that just tells me, okay, this might be a good email, you know. And I tweak things a lot. This one's at like 18.6%. This one, the second email is at 29. This used to be my first email, so this is more like a typical first open email. So just so you understand that, and I can stop sharing. But it's very similar.
Yeah, and even if I just focus on the numbers for a second, like having either any which ways from 20 to 30% as the first email is pretty much the normal. Okay. I have another follow-up series which I specifically, guys, for the Fearless Mama, which I just purely send traffic there, and it goes to the series. And what happens is that it links up to this next series that I have. So after it finishes, but these are more advanced strategies. I don't want to go into them. But the fact that I have a high open rate on the other one, but it doesn't really matter on the high open rate. It matters on me consistently selling or sending people through that, right? Like I said, 5% will actually take. Now I say 5%, it could be even less than 5%.
Yep.
But once you have that in your mind, that it's a minor number, you know you need to pump out, you need to do it, and you need to do it every single week, or every single day, or 4 days a week, whatever it is. But take the plan. You've already got the structure. These are elements that add. Okay, so if you want to add more authority to yourself, more to your plan, if you want to speak about it more, how about the plan? If you don't speak about it. So your email schedule is a tool to communicate and build a relationship. Okay, so, and this is something that took me, Renee, I don't know about you, but it took me a long time to get it. When I say get it, because I was so focused on the money side of it that I didn't realize that I was seriously wasting time, effort, and my own mental capacity. And I said, I need to automate it more. So the tools that I use, and in fact, email marketing for me is the foundation of my system and my business and the plan that we're using.
Yep. It is for me too. Email marketing is it really is the basics and the foundation. That's how I was brought into this industry to begin with, was email marketing. So there's proof right there, at least in my case and your case, that it's working, and it still works.
Yeah. So I think we've hit that pretty hard in terms of sharing even our personal results, guys. It's not very difficult. I'm going to give you guys an extra tip on how to write an email, but this is a very, very simple tip. One is you can definitely think of your day. That's something that a lot of people don't realize, but you look at your day and you have something to share. And the reason why I'm saying that to you is because you might come home, if you have a partner, you have a friend, you have whoever it is, and you want to pick up the call, and you want to pick up the phone and talk to them. That means you have something to say, right? They ask you, how was your day? You have something to say. Put that down on an email and send it and connect it to whatever you're doing. And that's it. Okay, that's a simple storytelling aspect. What do people do? What does Renee do? What do I do? We tell stories every single day. It may be boring for some people, but for some people, they will connect to it. And we care about those people who connect to it.
Yep.
So to break it down that simply and add it as a tip, just think about your day and tell the story that you're anyways coming home, maybe telling your friend, your partner, your dog. Doesn't really matter. I talk to my dog, so
why not?
Sometimes ideas come out this way, but I mean, that's just an additional tip if you guys are thinking, what do I say? How do I say it?
Absolutely.
And I think
that's it.
Renee, if you want to cover any more.
No, I think we've covered a lot today. And again, as David said, it doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be like you, in real. And it just be as consistent as possible. That's really it. And if you need help with that, just reach out to us. That's all, really.
Yeah. And on that note, guys, we will conclude this webinar. Like I said before, links are in the description in terms of getting in touch with Renee. If you also want to get in touch with my mentor and Renee's mentor as well, one of our mentors is Rob Fraser, is also going to be linked in the description of this video. So feel free to subscribe to their channels, because we drill in this plan day in and day out because it works. Okay. And the more you watch these videos, the more you see us on these episodes also, we talk about the plan right from the beginning, but we're connecting all the dots right now. Okay, so we talked about the product, we talked about why it is that you need to have the plan, and now comes the content element, how you can actually go about implementing it, okay, and how simple it is to implement. So subscribe to their channels, because they will talk about it individually on different videos and stuff like that as well. And we're going to see you next week for the next episode. Maybe we will have a guest, we don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see that on the next in the next week.
Bye.
Bye bye.